Everyday English with your English mentor.
Interact. Interact. Students need to interact with each other in class. Students need to interact with each other in class. Interaction. Interaction. The interaction between students and teachers is important. The interaction between students and teachers is important. Interactive. Interactive. The game is interactive and encourages participation. The game is interactive and encourages participation. Intermediate. Intermediate. She is at an intermediate level in her language studies. She is at an intermediate level in her language studies. Internal. Internal. The company has an internal policy on employee conduct. The company has an internal policy on employee conduct. Internalize. Internalize. Children internalize social norms from a young age. Children internalize social norms from a young age. Interpret. Interpret. It's important to interpret the data correctly. It's important to interpret the data correctly. Interpretation. Interpretation. Her interpretation of the poem was insightful. Her interpretation of the poem was insightful. Interpretive. Interpretive. The interpretive approach focuses on context. The interpretive approach focuses on context. Interpretive. Interpretive. The interpretive nature of the analysis was clear. The interpretive nature of the analysis was clear. Interval. Interval. There will be a short interval before the next act. There will be a short interval before the next act. Intervene. Intervene. The teacher had to intervene in the argument. The teacher had to intervene in the argument. Intervening. Intervening. Intervening events changed the course of history. Intervening events changed the course of history. Intervention. Intervention. The government called for an intervention to address the crisis. The government called for an intervention to address the crisis. Intrinsic. Intrinsic. The intrinsic value of the artwork is difficult to determine. The intrinsic value of the artwork is difficult to determine.
Everyday English with your English mentor.
Nâng tầm tiếng Anh cho người Việt. Hãy follow kênh và liên hệ với chúng tôi để đăng ký học IELTS với giáo viên giỏi và tận tâm nhé.